Skyrim is by far the most modded video game of all time, and the only game that has potential to even come close within the next 5 to 10 years is Starfield. And with a whole universe to explore with over 1,000 planets, modders have plenty to work with. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 6 ideas that I would love to see in Starfield as mods at some point. A lot of these I think are going to happen to some capacity. Some may even be implemented by Bethesda at some point. And some of these ideas I actually got from the comments from my last video. If you guys haven't watched that one yet, I'll link it above. Okay, let's start off with number 1, multiplayer. Modders actually got multiplayer to work in Skyrim last year with a mod called Skyrim Together Reborn. Now, I don't think that we'll see a full multiplayer mod for quite some time, but for me, I think I'd settle with just some type of a base multiplayer sharing mode so I could go and explore other people's settlements that they've created. Maybe you can leave them messages, things like that. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if Bethesda added some type of connectivity between bases as well. Will this mod happen? Only time will tell. All right, number 2, mounts. Now, they haven't shown any type of land vehicles yet in the game, which means we're probably not gonna see it. Fellow YouTuber Morphologist just made a video about how this would be a pretty difficult thing to implement in Starfield. He believes that it's still possible at some point that Bethesda might actually make it happen, but if they don't, you can be sure that modders will. I can definitely foresee modders allowing you to somehow be able to ride different creatures that you find on planets, but I think it would be really cool if we actually could get some type of land vehicles. One idea that I have is kind of similar to the multiplayer mod. Is it'd be really cool if there was some kind of pod racing or some kind of racing thing that you can do, maybe in the Las Vegas kind of city where you can gamble and bet on races. I could see a whole mod dedicated to something like that. I think that'd be really popular. All right, number 3, I think this one would be really fun, pretty simple, but I would love to have different radio stations while I'm exploring the galaxy. Something similar to Fallout. It'd be great if you can import your own playlists, you could listen to your own music while you're out there, but it'd also be really cool if you can maybe just tune into Fallout Radio or something like that. Now, it might be hard for the developers to do that with all the copyright issues that come along with adding music to a game, but modders should be able to figure out something like that for you to create your own playlist and get around that loophole. All right, number 4, multiple start locations. One of my favorite ways to play Skyrim was to download a mod that allowed me to start in whatever location I wanted on the map. And then that way I was able to roleplay from somebody that was from a particular town or maybe the College of Winterhold. This really worked well for immersion for me because I was able to maybe start out in Riften and join the Thieves Guild right off the bat. Didn't have to mess with any of the main story stuff. I would love things like that where you just forget about the main story completely and then just role play in the giant universe. Now, you can just do that on your own. You don't have to do the main story quest, but it would be great if there was mods that assisted you in this to maybe start you out as a space pirate or someone that's a member of the upper class. That's a mod that I would really like to see at some point. All right, number 5, seamless space to ground travel. Now, this was one of the ones that somebody left in the comments of my last video. If you're not already aware, when you go land on a planet, it's not going to be like No Man's Sky or Star Citizen where you actually have to enter atmosphere. There is going to be a loading screen, and I think this was probably a pretty good idea. I love No Man's Sky and Star Citizen, but trying to escape atmosphere sometimes takes like 5 minutes, and there's a really nice balance of simulation and then just having fun that needs to be met. And it seems like Bethesda's kind of leaning towards the, hey, let's just save you some time, some quality of life. We're not going to be a one-to-one simulation like Star Citizen. And I think that's probably the right choice. But I also think it would be great if they gave you that option, if maybe modders put that in so that you actually would have to enter the atmosphere yourself. I would have no problem with that. I don't know that I would play like that all of the time, but I would love to have that option. I mean, who wouldn't? Okay, before we get to number 6, there was a couple other fun ones that people left in the comments. One of them was a lightsaber mod. I mean, I think most games would probably benefit from a lightsaber mod, so that sounds great. And another one that I saw was a really interesting idea, is the idea that maybe Tamriel or the Fallout world are actually planets that you can visit. Maybe you can land in Tamriel from the Elder Scrolls games. That would be absolutely crazy. I mean, maybe you just import Skyrim, put it on a planet. I mean, I could see it happening. Fallout's world is our world, and our world's in the game, but I don't know, maybe just throw another world out there that's a Fallout world too. I think that sounds pretty interesting. By the way, if you liked today's video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing, and let me know down below, what kind of mods do you want to see in Starfield? Alright, number 6, Cyberpunk mods. Bethesda's already mentioned that the style of their game is something unique, which they call NASA punk. So it's not quite cyberpunk, but they have hinted at some things like maybe cybernetics or implants that could be in the game. We have yet to see, but I would love to see some different weapon mods, which we know are going to happen, that are maybe more cyberpunk focused. Maybe these are something cosmetic like mantis arms. Maybe there's something functional like the double jump you can get by replacing your knees. I would love to see some things like this implemented in the game that gave it a new way to play the combat. And I think this cyberpunk direction would just be totally perfect. All right, that's it for me. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Please make sure to comment. Let me know what mods would you like to see in Starfield coming out. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.